Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel with another video, one day or a bit late as usual because, yeah, again, shifts and stuff, so I worked on this yesterday, but when I finished I basically was way too beat to make the video, so I just defaulted to going to bed, which probably was a good idea. As you can see, as you can imagine or try to see on the side, I made a pair of wings. I tried to go for angel wings. I got something, but it looks cool enough. Short information at the beginning. I am well aware that the feathers look in the wrong direction. I kept it like this because I think it looks kind of cool. It works with what was intended, which I will come to. And I'm overall really happy with how this turned out, but I will redo this with the feathers going in the other direction. So why am I doing this right now? If you skip to the very end, you will see two renders at the end. One is the usual relatively realistic person, and the other one is a chibi-fied version of the same render. And as you might have guessed at this point, I'm working on content for Super Dungeon Explore. In this case, we are playing this weekend to be more precise, and I wanted to make a new boss. So this is a part of that boss model. I have the boss completely finished, and I will probably tell you a bit about it. But first, I'm going to tell you about the whole thing with the model and stuff. So I wanted to do a celestial, which means I need some angel wings, and this was my go on wings, stylized version, so very simplistic at some points. There on the usual wings there should be way more feathers, but with this it works. And yeah, the wings go in the wrong direction. They should actually go to the inside and not to the outside, but next time I will remember this, definitely. So, a mistake I learned from, and I'm pretty fine with this. Overall, this turned out great. At least the progress that I made with this. And I basically just looked at this in the first form and saw, okay, if I smooth this down, this looks really, really unsharp, unfeathery. So I decided to go and iterate all the spikes, all the ends that I made that will become the feathers when smoothing down. I'm basically just using the connect tool to split the tips into more pieces. You can see this right here, and actually working on the front and the back at the same time. So there is a mirror here, but it is a mirror in the very unusual third dimension, so on the Z axis, on the Z dimension in this case. And yeah, I tried to go for multiple iterations of these makeshift feathers each time. They are basically made by extruding some of the face to the side, welding one of the new edges back in, so this basically looks like it grows out of the wing. And then I extruded the new sideways facing face with the iterations of the extrusion being smaller. Sorry, extrusion, not extortion. I'm not extorting anyone right now. At least I'm not telling you if I do. So yeah, one mistake that I made that I didn't rectify until the very end is I basically just started each time with the outlast face, which I should have skipped to make this look a bit better. This way it looks relatively even, at least in the beginning, at the outer part, and this wasn't fully intended. I should have iterated a few times on these, just jumping back and forth, but this is something I will know for next time when I do this basically right. Overall, I still use this, so I actually have a printed out version of the chibi before me. I don't have a picture of it yet, because even though I will probably use this one, there is still something that went wrong while printing this. Basically what happened is it stopped printing some of the supports for one of the wings, so one of the wings is really kind of weak, and now it just broke off because I was playing around with it. So I have a one-winged angel for this weekend. I will definitely try to print this again tomorrow, but I don't have time today anymore for another try. But yeah, one of the rings is came out really thin because the support stopped printing, and then it basically printed it from the body in, I think, 1 or 2 layers only. I can basically look through it. But yeah, you can see that I'm still doing the same iteration. So it's basically extrude the faces, extrude the extruded faces again a few times to have some iterations, so the feather looks actually like a feather in form. Weld the last iteration, the end, to one point. Move the point a little bit, but this is like optional, and then it's yeah, repeat the whole thing. I'm trying to iterate a bit on the angle of the feathers, and I'm changing a bit the innermost of the feathers, which yeah, goes in the wrong direction, but whatever at this point. Yeah, I'm also using much more of the selection coordinates than usual. I'm jumping around in between a tiny bit, but not that much. But yeah, I had to basically do the whole wing, because the ring has a front and a back side, and I basically just copied the I used symmetry to make front and back simultaneously, but that also meant that I had to do at least one of the sides completely. Yeah, I also don't think there's another way to use symmetry on this one, so this is basically the only way I see this working out. Yeah, in the end I copy pasted the wing to the other side. The wing has the UV map is very simple. I just used the pre-made UV map, which is a flat surface, and mapped it on there. So it's really simple, because it is mostly working because of its own because of the modeling, and not because of the good UV map, because, as you know, I'm not really good at making those yet. I'm still working on this, so at least at some point I may be able to make some decent UV maps. Might be looking into Substance Painter, I don't know, maybe if I feel like it at some point I will, but right now I'm not. Yeah. With the wing almost finished, I basically thought about iterating the outwards curve, like the innerwards curve in this case, to have it to give it a bit of a bulk and thickness. But I decided, since at this point I basically noticed, oh, the feathers all look in the wrong direction, and basically I would have to redo it, which took about 90 minutes, a bit more than 90 minutes. But yeah, basically the whole thing, to redo the whole thing would have just like completely broken my time schedule, so I went with it, and it looks cool in the renders, so I'm really happy with how this turned out. What I didn't do yet might be a video content for the weekend, might be I'm doing something else on the weekend for the video. is to to give the whole thing bones, to basically make it a figure rigid. I have not thought about that yet. Right now it is just something, basically just a prop that is put on the character, like a costume, like it's just in the back of the character. You can see that I'm basically using this connection here for the background. I think I will not actually rig this one, because I would rather redo it and then rig the one with the feathers pointing inward in the right direction. Really looking forward to how that looks. So this might be, or this will be, content in the near future. Probably not on the weekend, because having the same thing twice in a row is not really what I'm looking for. But yeah, basically copy pasting over, and here's the finished wings. And that's it for this video, actually. So thanks for watching. As always, enjoy the video and stay healthy, stay safe. I'll see you guys around.